Hey everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to give you the recipe to make some really tasty smoked pork butt using two ingredients. That's right, two ingredients. But first, let me show you the pork butts. Now, they call it a pork shoulder butt. It's not really the butt of the pig, it's the shoulder of the pig. All right, so let's get that out of the way. And this is boneless. I got it at Costco. It's really good meat, has a nice fat cap on it, so that way we can get that flavor in there. And first, I'm going to rub it down with some avocado oil. Now, I'm using avocado oil because the avocado oil sticks to the meat really well, and it can handle high heat. It doesn't burn like virgin olive oil or light virgin olive oil, so I'm using the avocado oil. So just remember that. Avocado oil has it has an ability to take on a lot of heat. All right, so we're gonna rub it onto the meat really well. And then here is the part where the bone was cut out of the pork shoulder butt. All right, so when you're putting on your olive oil, just make sure that you get it in there really good. Now, I'm using the ER Sasquatch Barbecue Eruption by Spiceology. This is an excellent rub for pork. It has a nice red color, so if you're looking for presentation, it gives it that nice red hue to it. And also it has a kind of a sweet flavor, not sugary sweet, it's really light. So when I'm saying sugary or sweet, don't think about comparing it to granulated sugar or anything like that. It's not that sweet. It just has a light hint of sweetness to it. It's not really salty, so you definitely want to add salt if that's your thing, if you like to have salty meat, or just add salt to your meat, then just keep that in mind. But hey, if you get the Eruption by Spiceology rub, then you'll be able to taste it before you put it on there, so you can adjust the salt as needed. Now, with this big cavity where the bone used to be at, just make sure you don't put too much seasoning in there, because what you don't want to happen is for it to clump up. You don't want to cook the meat and then you have these big chunks of rub that's sitting in between the meat. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. Just put a nice light coat up on there. And make sure you get the sides really good. Make sure you get in between those little pieces of fat, and I'm not cutting any fat off because I want all that flavor to come out into that meat. Now it's time to flip this baby to the side. Make sure I get these sides really good. Look at that. This is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be tasty. And wait till I show you the barbecue sauce. All right, so now I'm going to struggle just a little bit to get my hands wrapped around this meat because it's kind of slippery. Now that it's flipped over, I'm just going to season up this side really good. And as you can see, the fat cap on there, it's not super thick, but there is a fat cap on there. Now, I do like to have a thicker fat cap in most cases, just because I love the taste of the fat. Once it's broken down and you're eating that pork and you get those little bits of the fat that's in there with all that flavor, it is delicious. All right, so now I have it all rubbed up, and it's time to take this baby to the smoker. Now, here's something I didn't tell you about, the coleslaw that I'm making. This is going to be delicious, and it's so easy to make. And if you're making coleslaw, you have to use Japanese mayonnaise. It's made out of the whites of the egg, and it's nice and creamy. And to give this coleslaw a kick, you have to use the Lily's Barbecue ENC barbecue sauce. Now, this is a vinegar-based sauce. See all those peppers, chilies that's up in there? Just make sure you shake it up really good. Now, this coleslaw is not going to be your average coleslaw, because this coleslaw is specifically made for the pork sandwiches. That's right, it's specifically made for the pork. So you just put the sauce in there with the mayo, mix it in really good, and you get to eyeball it. I'm not going to tell you the measurements for it because it's just one of those things, you kind of eyeball it and you get it to the texture and the flavor that you want. So as you're going through and you're cooking this, just give it a little taste, and then see how it comes out. And now after that, you add the mayo. Now I'm almost out of my Japanese mayonnaise, but I do have a stockpile going in the refrigerator. So mix it in good, give it a taste, and voila, you have coleslaw. Put a lid on this baby and put it in the fridge until the pork is done. All right, the pork shoulder is at 165 degrees and it's been smoking for about 4.5 hours. So now it's time to wrap this baby up. It's been smoking for about 4.5 hours. The smoker set at 275 degrees. So now we can wrap this baby up. And now that it's wrapped, I'm going to put the thermometer in there and let it finish cooking until it reaches 205 degrees. All right, a little bit later, it is done. Look at this beauty right here. That color from the rub, beautiful. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful. Now with me, I don't like to do pulled pork as much. I like to do my pork chopped because I just like the way it comes out and the way that it sits on the sandwich. I just like it that way. So I chop up my pork butts. Look at that, nice smoke flavor to it. It's juicy. Now remember to let it cool down. I did let the pork butt cool down before I started cutting into it, so all of the juices can go back into the meat. So just keep that in mind. Let your pork butt cool down, and then you'll have a juicy, juicy pork butt. Now for the barbecue sauce, ta-da! Lily's Gold Barbecue Sauce. This is an amazing sauce. I love their sauces. I'm telling you, they are my go-to when it comes to barbecue. Now for me, I kind of just drizzle the sauce on there. I don't like my meat saturated with a whole lot of sauce because I like to taste all of the flavor that's in the meat. A lot of people just soak their pork butts or their pulled pork with barbecue sauce and all you taste is the sauce. I like to taste what I cook. So there you go. It is drizzled on there really, really good. And then after that, I just pick these babies up, mix it up just a little bit, not hard. I don't do a hard mix on this. I mix it up just a little bit, and then after that, I put this beautiful, beautiful cooked up pork shoulder, pork butt into a bowl. And then after that, I make sandwiches. Now, I'm not going to show you how to make the sandwiches because everybody, gets to decide what they want to put on it. But for the main ingredients for this baby right here is the Lily's Barbecue Gold Sauce, the Sasquatch Barbecue Pork Rub by Spiceology, and then that good old coleslaw. So just remember, this combination is a winner for any dinner, any barbecue that you have. So there you go. There you guys go. Now go cook some.